Welcome to the 2021
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Draft.
Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fantasy Football Draft. But before we even think about getting started, I have to give a massive shout out to Willie-ish for his video. I drafted the first ever Pokemon football team, which gave me the direct inspiration to make a Yu-Gi-Oh! Themed one. I'm a huge fantasy football guy and a huge Yu-Gi-Oh! Guy. So let's merge them and make one fun team. Traditionally on a fantasy football roster, you would build a full team, including a bench, but for the purpose of our draft today, we'll just draft a starting lineup composed of a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a flex, which is just a running back or a receiver, could also be a tight end, but that is not optimal, a tight end, a kicker, and a team defense. And to make this more interesting, none of the cards on our roster can already play football. So sorry Battle Footballer or UA Blockbacker. You're too OP for this draft. We'll also have a semi-realistic clause in place as well, because as cheese as it would be to place a football inside of any of the trains and have them barrel down the field without a hope of being stopped, that has to break some kind of rule, right? So let us begin with the first pick of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Draft. At number 1 overall, Vicious Astrolabe, wide receiver from the Vsauce archetype. We are selecting Astrolabe number 1 to set ourselves up to dominate the wide receiver position. Wide receivers have been moving up fantasy draft boards for years, and in the majority of leagues, wide receiver Justin Jefferson was the first player off the board this year. After much deliberation, I determined Vicious Astrolabe to be the first pick because of the way it will dominate the field. While Astrolabe only has one hand to catch the ball with, its size will make these one-handed catches easy peasy, and the sword attached to the other hand will create space and scare off many defenders. But what gives Astrolabe the edge here to be the first overall pick is the spear-like things attached to its body that I believe will be used to turn 50-50 balls into 100-0 balls. So, 1/9 of the team is done with Astrolabe at our wide receiver 1 position. And in round 2, we have a godlike pick. No, literally. With our second round pick, we're going to select Obelisk the Tormentor, running back from the Egyptian god archetype. I mean, he is a god, so I feel like naturally Obelisk is a good pick. Surely his effect to tribute 2 measly offensive linemen to wipe the entire defense is a banned move. But look at his build. He has wings, but maybe flying over the other team is also cheating. So that can't be the end-all be-all. Instead, bro's got some crazy muscle. And with those forearms, the other team's going to be catching Derrick Henry stiff arms all day.
Damn!
Welcome to the team, Obelisk. In round number 3, we are selecting Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder, wide receiver who is archetypeless. We might have some trouble fitting that giant name on a jersey, but we'll make it work. Like I mentioned earlier, receivers have been pushed up draft boards, so we need to lock down the position early. Zeus is great for the job because his mechanical jet-powered wing things seem legal enough to me, and with his strong metal build, Zeus will dominate in the air. That's 1/3 of the roster down. So far, we're still without the leader of the team, the quarterback. So, in round 4, we are selecting Vsauce Starfrost, quarterback from the Vsauce archetype. Now, Starfrost might not strike you as a quarterback right away, but in terms of the intangibles like leadership and chemistry, Starfrost excels, and still seems quite capable of making the throws we need. Now, this isn't a Vsauce lore video, but basically this guy's been able to interact with so many different archetypes and emerged victorious in a number of battles, telling me he'll be a leader in the locker room, and we're stacking him with Vicious Astrolabe, since they're both from the same archetype. A strategy in real fantasy football where you take a quarterback and a receiver from the same team. So, Vsauce Starfrost is here to lead the way. Welcome to the team, my friend. In round number 5, we are going to be selecting Dino Wrestler Pankratops, running back from the Dino Wrestler archetype. Pank is already in great athletic shape, given his heritage as a Dino Wrestler, and as a wrestler, will bring a strong style of running to the team that we're certainly looking for. With his horns, the guy is just going to put his head down, run over some defenders, and put points up on the board. a very solid player for the squad. Welcome to the team, Pank. Now, in round number 6, we will be selecting Elemental Hero Thunder Giant. Tight end from the Elemental Hero archetype. The most veteran player on the squad, Thunder Giant is just what we're looking for at tight end. As a position that can easily put up 0 points in a week, we have a player who's been around since 2006. And with experience comes reliability. Thunder Giant has the build to not get bullied by the bigger guys on the field, and has a nose for the end zone after all his time in the league. So, welcome to the team. I hope your experience does you well. In round number 7, we are selecting Mira Jade the Iceblade Dragon, running back from the branded /Alabaz archetype. Mira Jade is an interesting pick here. Not only do I not actually understand him well enough to know what archetype he's technically a part of, also, I'm not too sure I would fit Mira Jade as a pure running back at the flex spot here. I think Mira Jade has the build of one certainly, but also of someone who will catch some passes out of the backfield, giving them the potential to stay on the field more often than the others. Think about Pank, who we selected earlier. He's got those dinosaur arms. He's not really going to be catching balls. But Mira Jade with the dragon build seems like he'll really be able to get out there. I'm really excited about the prospects of the quote-unquote dual threat running back that we have with Mira Jade. So, we welcome him to the team with open arms. In round number 8, it is finally time for us to get our kicker, Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer. Kicker from the Galaxy archetype, and another name that I have no idea how we're getting on a jersey. A huge part of being a kicker at the highest level is a mental battle from what I've heard. So, let's get a robot on the squad to get rid of that silly mental aspect. Big robot, kick ball really far, really straight, every time, without fail. Sounds like a successful strategy to me. So, get on the roster, pal. Actually, never mind, I forgot to add a kicker spot on the roster. It's the kicker though, and I feel like this is something that could actually happen with a kicker, like, very forgettable position unfortunately. So, we're just rolling with it. And with our last pick in round number 9, we will be selecting the Earthbound Immortals, team defense from the Earthbound archetype. If you're unfamiliar with the Earthbound Immortals game, they seem like they would make quite the squadron on D. In the anime, they tower as tall as buildings and feed on the souls of people for energy. If we can transfer this tenacity to the football field, the Earthbound Immortals will be laying hit sticks on the other team so hard, they'd wish they lost their skull instead. Truth be told, I am a little concerned that they will eat the fans, but after some work at practice, I'm sure they'll behave. So, to conclude the team, we'll pencil in the Earthbound Immortals at that team defense slot. And that's the squadron. Let's do a quick summary to see how this team will dominate and lead us to a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fantasy Football Championship. Leading the squadron is our quarterback, Vsauce Starfrost. A lot rests on this guy's hands, but he has proven himself capable of far more than playing some football in his lore. And I'm sure the chemistry he has demonstrated will help the team mesh. Astrolaud and Zeus are gonna control the air at the wide receiver position. They might not be the speediest, but I have faith they will bring down any catchable ball. Obelisk, Pank, and kinda Mira Jade will generate a strong ground game, and there's so much strength between the three of them that they'll never go down on the first contact, and find themselves in the end zone quite frequently. At tight end, we've got our veteran Thunder Giant, who, although won't be nearly as flashy as the rest of the team, will be all reliable and just help get the job done. At kicker, we have a literal robot with Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer. Enough said, robot equals cheat code. And lastly, the Earthbound Immortals on defense, who, like I just mentioned, will bring a level of tenacity that strikes fear into every opposing offense, and potentially the fans, but like I said, we're going to work on that. This was a really fun idea to work on, as we come to the end of the football season, with the Super Bowl only a week away. And I hope you enjoyed hearing me babble about it. Let me know in the comments if you have anyone you think should join the roster. And other than that, just make sure you have a great day, everyone.